Hello, everyone, and welcome to the sideboard here at the Milwaukee Legacy Open. I'm Glenn Jones. I'm joined in the booth by Kendrick Lentini. Kendrick,
hi there.
Welcome to the booth.
Nice to meet you.
You brought your deck. We've pulled a few of the cards out to chat about, and you're playing Blue-Red Delver, a deck I myself have a bit of a soft spot for, personally. And you have mostly a pretty traditional shell, even with the Price of Progress, the Days, the Forcible, the Ponders, the Brainstorms, the Chain Lightnings, the Delvers.
That's right.
But you've added some updates from some pseudo-recent sets. We've got Young Pyromancer from Magic 2014. I think he's very good in this deck. He's much better than Goblin Guy, which people used to play all the time. So I'm not that surprised to see him showing up. I think as we get to see more Legacy events with this deck getting played, it's just going to be a conventional kind of deal. And I'm excited to see it. But the real change you've made is you've incorporated a Niv Magus Elemental kind of hybrid suite in from the deck that Jerry Thompson's been popularizing, sort of, because he loves to cast his Niv Magus Elemental.
That's right, yeah.
And you've got the Niv Magus. You've also got Cloud of the Dominus to turn him into a pretty unbeatable threat. Yep. So what made you want to add Niv Magus to the blue-red shell?
Yeah, so initially my thought was I really would love to add a lot of extra disruption, seeing as Storm was a really big part of my metagame there. And but what I found in adding these is that, well, initially it didn't have Cloud of the Dominus, but what I found in adding these is that it just gave the deck not any less speed than before, even with playing Flusterstorm and such. It still maintained about the same amount of speed, but it allowed you to randomly combo kill, just wombo combo them. I mean, a typical kill might be, check to see that their hand is devoid of abrupt decays or swords or things of that nature that you're worried about, and you can then safely go for it if you like, with cards that might be good on its own, right?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. That's pretty interesting to me, actually, that the idea that you wanted to play Flusterstorm before you wanted to play the Magus Elemental. You kind of just backdoored your way into the combo kills.
Yeah, and one thing that I like best about this strategy is that all of your cards are so modal, as I like to call them. Your burn spells go downstairs and upstairs. Yeah. Your Flusterstorms now go downstairs and upstairs, or they're blocking terminuses or whatever you need them to do. Show and tells.
It's a big one.
Good one for the matchup. So I then went all the way to Cloud of the Dominus. Not specifically for Niv Magus, because honestly it's just as good on a Delver.
Sure, it's about the same kind of threat, and the flying is much better than being a ground pounder.
Yeah, mostly it's a concession to Abrupt Decay. Honestly, it's the best card against the deck. It needs to remove your threats, because you don't quite have as much just straight burn, Philosophy of Fire style thing as in the regular blue-red Delver.
Yeah, you don't have access to the Snapcaster mages to really let you double down on all these Price of Progresses and whatnot. You're trying to kill them with the creatures.
Exactly.
But you do have a more diverse and a more brutal suite of creatures as well. Like, your deck's a little more resilient to Engineered Plague, for example, I think, than the previous ones, because, you can't just name human and kill every creature in the deck anymore.
Right.
So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I like that it gives you a new dimension for Jataxian Probe as well, to play it as, a pseudo-mutagenic growth.
Yeah.
Because I think that card's just good
it's
in the deck.
It's the glue in the deck. Yeah. It works with Pyromancer, everything. I mean, I've played Niv Magus Elemental. They go something like Chalice of the Void, and normally that would be awful against this deck, right? But you go Young Pyromancer, Gitaxian Probe, Exile. Yep. You're still getting full value out of your spells. You have a token, you have counters.
Who needs the actual cantrip?
Right. It doesn't resolve.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, well, moving to your sideboard, you have some more traditional elements that we've seen from the blue-red deck there as well, including Sulfuric Vortex, which is really powerful in Legacy. I think it's kind of underestimated. Something I became very aware of when Erebos came out, and everyone kind of dismissed his opponents can't gain life ability. And it's like, that is actually a really good ability. It's on a very powerful card already that nobody appreciates. So I'm a big Sulfuric Vortex fan, but I want to talk about your Diverts, because it feels like you're kind of aiming that at the bug deck, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. And so what I found was that in those matchups where I want to be redirecting cards, I really can't afford to misdirection, right? Because that's the format, or that's the matchup where I don't want to have Forcible, right?
You're getting attrition. You can't afford to just throw away extra cards.
So the best next card is Divert.
Okay.
In that scenario, so it's aimed at the hymns, the abrupt decays, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Makes a lot of sense. How have you started off in the Legacy Open?
Started off 3-0 and then lost the last round, so 3-1 now. Still alive.
All right. Well, I hope you keep winning. Hopefully we'll get you on camera as well.
Thanks
for joining me.
Thank you.